We have multiple updates revolving around the Boston Celtics as the latest news is flying in, and Brad Stevens had made it known that his asking price for one specific Celtic player was a little bit higher than many expected. What was that asking price, and was it as value for this guy? Plus, other news revolving around on the trade side of things. The Celtics still looking to shed some salary to prioritize two key free agents that they want back in Boston. How will this affect Joe Mazzulla's team, and what will they be looking like in the next couple of days? We'll have all of those predictions here on this episode of Celtics Digest. I am Bruce Veliz, and you guys have been fantastic, showing your love and support on the channel. We've been rapidly rising over these last couple of days, and we're almost at our goal of 7,000 subscribers. And you guys have been absolutely fantastic in helping us climb up through the ranks on these channels by hitting that subscribe button. So if you do enjoy the content, want to make sure you stay up to date on everything revolving around the Celtics, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know your thoughts on the latest news revolving around this team as we break it down today. But without further ado, let's dive in and let's get into the news revolving around the Celtics, as there has been a lot talked about with this team. And ultimately, we'll dive in and talk about the reports with the guy in the thumbnail, Derrick White. As we all know, the Celtics were taking aggressive calls and were feverishly getting called left and right, as Shams Charania was saying over these last couple of days. But following the draft, the Boston Celtics still have Derrick White on their roster. They still have Jaylen Brown on their roster. And both Mike Zarin and Brad Stevens said after the draft that the calls with the Jazz were not obviously there, that the Brown and this team core, Brown, White, Peyton Pritchard core, is going to stay alongside for Jayson Tatum, and that they weren't entertaining offers. Now, obviously, they're not going to say that they were. I would expect they were getting calls, probably prioritizing them, trying to figure out, is this the best move? Can we shed salary the other way? And KP and Jrue, what's kind of the best angle for the Boston Celtics? And I don't blame them for doing that, but ultimately, moving off Porziņģis, moving off Jrue to shed that salary and keeping this core, I think was the right decision. And for Derrick White, the reported package was, kind of brought up to light from Jake Fisher, and it said that the Celtics were reportedly insisting that they would need a Mikal Bridges type of package in return for Derrick White. As sources are saying that Boston told at least one rival team that it would have insisted on a Mikal Bridges type of package to part with a guy in Derrick White. The Celtics have certainly received no shortage of inbound trade calls on both him and Jaylen Brown in recent days, but nothing got serious on either front. And that's because the Celtics are laughing at your proposals, right? We all know teams would be interested in Jaylen Brown. Teams would be interested in Derrick White. No crap. I'm interested in having a pool in my backyard. I'm interested in marrying a supermodel. But that's not going to happen. And for teams like Toronto that are calling, going, we'll give you pick 9, right? As we heard the reports, and Nick made a video on it, that was pick 9, maybe some other future firsts. Well, Zach Lowe confirmed that the Raptors offered pick 9 for Derrick White, and he told that was true, and it happened over a month ago. And then Boston laughed at the offer and said, we need way more than number 9 for Derrick White. And I'm sure they were probably the rival team that they probably insisted they needed a Mikal Bridges-esque type of package from. 4 or 5 first-round picks, and I don't blame the Boston Celtics for doing that. You look at a guy, Mikal Bridges, a two-way type of player. Yes, he's a little bit younger than a guy in Derrick White, as Derrick White is 30 going on to 31. Mikal Bridges, obviously, I think is like 27, 28, maybe even 29. But the ability that they bring on both sides of the ball as two-way guys, defensive first, but also can stretch out and hit the three and go on complete avalanches where you see them hit 6-7 threes per game, and you're like, holy crap, this guy's absolutely insane. They have higher value, and to teams, again, that are looking at that piece as, not maybe a insert star guy, but a complementary guy that's going to help not only boost their team in certain aspects, but boost their stars and make them even look better. It's going to take a lot to get out of it. Specifically, a team in the Boston Celtics who holds Derrick White at supreme value for buying low on him from the San Antonio Spurs and making him into this type of guy for this Celtics team. Like I mentioned, there were reports that, I know Nick made a video talking about maybe RJ and some future firsts and stuff like that. That wouldn't have happened. That's just not enough for the Boston Celtics to unfortunately get it done with those type for a guy in Derrick White. Like I mentioned, it'd have to be young talent, but not only just that, multiple firsts, right? To kind of push the Celtics off that motor of, all right, maybe we can retool our roster and kind of figure some things out down the line. Ultimately, this team still wants to be competitive next season, and not only just that, still wants to be dominant post Jayson Tatum. And keeping guys like Derrick White, keeping guys like Jaylen Brown is going to be the key for that success. So I'm glad for Brad holding that high price tag. Once again, I think it's hilarious that they try to offer number 9 and just kind of get it away. Brad in the front office laughing at that, because once again, the 9th overall pick coming into the Celtics team. Oh yeah, maybe it can be a high impact player, but do we really think the 9th overall pick, Colin Murray-Boyles this year, is going to be at that level of Derrick White? We'll have to wait and see. I might be eating my words, but we might have to see. So let me know your thoughts on that. We're going to get into some more updates as well, revolving around the Boston Celtics on that trade front here, as there are also some more moves that we have to be keeping an eye on here. And Nick has been kind of talking about that on the channel, so I do appreciate him looking at those aspects on the side of things. But let's dive in and let's look at that, because like with the latest report coming about the Derrick White package revolving around from Jake Fisher, we also have some more regarding the Boston Celtics, as well as Bobby Manning from CLNS Media puts out that Simons is still a possible retrade candidate for the Celtics, and there's no credible buzz around Sam Hauser being involved in serious trade talks at the moment. As he's mentioned before, savings Boston achieved in the Porziņģis deal probably allows them to keep Sam Hauser, and he wonders if Dallas would have some interest in Simons if they can't get Chris Paul. And I really do like that analyzation from Bobby there. We all know that the Celtics, like I've shown in a lot of these videos, have shed that salary. Moving off Porziņģis, moving off Jrue Holiday, they've been able to save an abundance in luxury tax, but still have some more moves to do. Now, they're obviously not sitting at this projected 203 exactly. I don't know what it is because they traded from 32. They shed some money there. So it's probably roughly around like 202, 201 currently sitting for the Celtics. And in that case, they still need to shed around $6 million to drop underneath that first apron and to be in that tax threshold number. That's where it seems like the Celtics want to be, anywhere between 187 or maybe even underneath 187 to 195. That will allow the Celtics to have the full mid-level exception to offer to Luke Kornet, which they feel like is going to be getting in free agency here, roughly around that $14 million mark. That would bring him back to be the starting center, not only having that full access to the MLE, but also having that flexibility would allow the team to bring back Al Horford on a pretty solid team size contract. And then you're looking at a roster: Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Al Horford, Luke Kornet, obviously Peyton Pritchard as that starting five, and then Baylor Shireman, maybe J.D. Davidson, Sam Hauser, Jordan Walsh, Xavier Tillman, Hugo Gonzalez, Neemias Queta, Georges Niang, and still 3 more roster spots open. They still have the possibility, if by doing that, like I mentioned, probably trading Simons, so you might be getting a contract or 2 back in that. And then once you do that, now you're in the first apron, right? Once you do that Simons trade, you're guaranteed in the first apron, you're in the tax threshold. Who's to say that they don't take a contract that they get back for Anthony Simons and combine that with Georges Niang and go get another player, right? The options really do become endless for the Celtics. Bobby Manning, I did not grab these tweets because I saw them after I got the video set up, but he mentioned in his Twitter, which was really cool, that Dallas could definitely serve some interest in Simons here, and I think he further upon it expanded on that with some potential trades, and he also mentioned the Wizards as well. I saw a deal, I think it was from Marcus Smart for Anthony Simons, would also help out the Wizards. They get a younger piece, but also still get off that money into next season, and they can take on more money with an expiring contract in Simons. And for the Celtics, they get a guy in Marcus Smart who's coming back to Boston, but not only is relatively cheaper, and could be signed to the team on a long-term deal, maybe down the road, on a contract that's a little team friendly. Now, ultimately, that comes into play of what the Celtics are looking to do in regards of adding players at what position and for how much money they want to shed the salary. But like I said, I think it's very key note to keep an eye on Simons. No really credible buzz about Sam Hauser at the moment, but still the Celtics, like we mentioned, want to shed some salary. They don't want to lose Luke Kornet. They want to have the flexibility to bring him back. They want to bring Al Horford back. They want to fill out this rotation. And obviously, it's not going to be a star-stacked team as last year with Jayson Tatum making $60 million and still sitting out. The bench isn't going to look as great. But there are going to be a lot of project pieces, a lot of pieces the Celtics do believe in, and that's something that's going to be interesting to see going into this season, because we haven't had that over these last couple of years. We haven't had to really bank on guys really starting to pan out and step up alongside Derrick White, Jaylen Brown, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Kornet, and others, and that's going to be something that I keep my eyes on to see who can really blossom and who can really pan out, and who's also going to be on their way out for maybe some other moves down the line as the Celtics restructure their squad. So, like I said, lots of discussions about the Celtics, but Derrick White isn't going anywhere. Like I mentioned, it was going to take a massive haul and a Mikal Bridges type of offer of 4 or 5 first-round picks, maybe even a young player or two involved would have been absolutely insane of a haul for the Celtics. But just goes to show you on just where Brad Stevens not only values these guys for the team, but also around the league. And that just, once again, like I said, that means that they're not really going anywhere. That it would take some team to basically sell the farm to try to get one of these guys, and I don't see that happening at this point. So like I said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. We're going to be gearing up, getting ready for free agency, some other moves that the Celtics can make. Like I said, they still are looking to shed some salary, so I wouldn't be shocked if another trade or two come trickling in over the weekend, gearing up for free agency. And then when free agency starts, we'll have to keep our eye out. The Celtics obviously don't have a lot of money, looking to bring back some of their key free agents, but who knows? If they are able to get off a veteran minimum contract or two, maybe they do explore finding another new free agent to kind of intrigue our eyes on. So that will be definitely fun to break down. Let me know your thoughts, like I said, on the Celtics news and the latest, and I'll be catching you guys with some more videos here on the channel, breaking down the news, giving my thoughts, and it's going to be busy starting the next couple of days, so definitely want to stay tuned. So like I said, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I appreciate all your guys' support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics. Peace out, everyone.